Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us for our Refuel Devotional. My name is Jason Kane, pastor at Bayside Blue Oaks. As you know, right now we're doing a series on 1 Corinthians 13, and today we're going to talk about how it is impossible to be in a relationship without experiencing some level of hurt. That relationship could be romantic, it could be a relationship on a job, it could be a relationship with a friend. No matter what type of relationship you're in, the closer you get to someone, the more likely they are to hurt you, and the more likely you are to hurt them. I know that's not the encouragement you want this morning, but here's what I want to encourage you with. Regardless of the type of relationship you're in, it is possible for us to overcome those hurts. How, you ask? I believe 1 Corinthians 13 verse 5 gives us an indication. In 1 Corinthians 13:5, we read these words: "Love keeps no record of wrongs." I know in hearing these words, you might have the thought that I first had, which is, that sounds ridiculous. If someone hurts me, I'm going to keep a record of it so they won't hurt me in the future. Well, let me say a couple of qualifying things. The first is this. As Paul is talking here in 1 Corinthians, he's talking about a normal functioning relationship. Not a relationship that's full of abuse, not a relationship where one person is made into a doormat. He is talking about a normal functioning relationship. If there's abuse happening in a relationship, if you leave that relationship, that's not you keeping a record of wrongs, that's you taking care of yourself in a way that God would want you to. But in a normal functioning relationship, when we have hurts that happen, what Paul is getting at here is that we are not bookkeepers that keep a ledger of every incident that someone has done hurt or harm towards us. But we figure out a way to have a conversation to address our wrongs and move on. Paul makes a point that in the context of a relationship, that is important for us to quickly address wrongdoings so that we can move on in a relationship. The longer we allow offense to take hold of our hearts, the more likely we are to build grudges, and our relationships will deteriorate. But if we want to do what Paul is saying here, if we don't want to keep our record of wrongs, what we do is address the wrongs and move on. If someone has offended you, if someone has hurt you, or perhaps if you've offended someone or hurt them, the best thing to do to restore that relationship is to address the wrongs and then move on. When you address the wrongs, you do it in grace. When you address wrongs, you do it with a heart of repentance. When you address wrongs, you admit that you have made a mistake, and then you figure out a way to move on. This works within the context of a marriage or on your job or even with a close friend. The thing that you want to do is quickly restore the relationship so that you can move on. This morning, what would it look like for you to make a decision that anytime you have been wronged by someone, that you're going to quickly address the wrong in grace and with compassion and move on? I think it would serve us all best if we made a decision when we've been wronged to quickly have a conversation, repair the relationship, and show them the love of Jesus. Thanks so much for being here this morning. We'll see you next time.